funniest thing, I was thinking, like I found a video the other day where it talks about like what's it called? I think it's muscle phobia. Muscle phobia. It's like a variation of body dysmorphia, but it's for people who work out at the gym, you know? And I was just reading it and I'm like, oh shit, I think I have forms of that, you know? Like I believe once you start working out, like really taking the shit seriously, you're gonna develop a form of body dysmorphia. Like I did, you know? In a sense of like, um, I don't see myself the same way how others see me. So I give you an example, right? People will see me and they'll be like, yo, you're huge, you're big, and all that stuff. But I don't feel like that. You know, sometimes I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, yo, I'm small. Or sometimes I'm like, yo, I am big, you know? But it's not a consistent thing. And at first I used to like, yo, what the fuck? Like, am I getting progress or whatever the case may be? But once other people start really like, yo, bro, you're huge. No, there's a difference. That's when I start to really pay attention to it. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? Probably they're onto something. And I guess I reached to a point in my life right now where it's like, those thoughts do come up here and there, but like I'm kind of like more like, it's part of the process. Your body is not going to stay consistent, you know, like don't make social media fool you and thinking that like people stay ripped, shredded, abs all the time. That's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? And like train working out or training or whatever the case may be to maintain a physique or to like achieve a physique, you're gonna get disappointed, you know? Like as cliche as it sounds, like I'm kind of at the space right where it's like, yeah, like I wanna grow certain muscle parts a little bit more and all that fun stuff. But like that's not the main driving factor, you know? Like I love the feeling of lifting weights and just, you know what I'm saying, getting pumps and shit like that. And it's a long journey. So now when I look at myself in the mirror and some days I'm off, like right now I'm cutting, I'm gaining weight. I don't look at shredded no more. Before it, I used to man, I don't really like that. But now I'm just like, whatever. So it's like, I feel like I'm just at a space right now where it's like, I'm aware that can be a thing. So I kind of like, I take control of it. And I know for some other people, they could get really caught up with this idea of like their physique and all that stuff. And it's just going to be a never ending mental battle, you know? Whew. Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy. Like, that's a real thing. Like, especially for men. Like, it's not something that like a lot of men talk openly about. But I'm telling you, 99.9% of the men who work out, they develop some form of body dysmorphia. Look at me. I used to think like, yo, that's not true. That's not gonna happen to me. Wrong. Wrong. And there's levels to it, right? There's variations of it. There's the people who become like super obsessed, and just there's the people who like they just don't see themselves how others see them, you know. And I think that's the most craziest thing. It's like people be like, yo, you're big, you're XYZ, whatever. But it's like, no, I'm not. Like I'm looking at the same thing you're looking at, and I look so small with whatever, you know. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You know, I think it's very important to get to that point in your fitness where it's becoming more of a lifestyle. Like you're chasing a lifestyle more than you're chasing like an appearance, you know? Reach to a stage in your life where it's like, okay, like Like, for example, I'm at a stage of my life where it's like, I have to do this in the morning in order for me to set the tone for the day. So I chase that. I chase the feeling of like my body being beat up, you know? I don't chase the, oh, I want my arms to get bigger or I want XYZ. Like when I first started, yeah, but like that's a that's a whatever goal, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, like your body fluctuates throughout the year. You know, like there's times where you're gonna look big. There's times you're gonna look skinny. There's times, you know, there's times you're gonna look fluffy. There's times you're gonna look very lean and sick. Like your body's not like a permanent state. You know, it changes. You know. Okay, I'm really trying to finish this one up because this is really pain in my shoulder. Yo, military press? Yo, this shit will humble you. Yeah, man. Like fitness, this whole working out shit is a mental thing. And I'm telling you, if you don't come into this with that mindset, like, you know, because obviously, like, we're humans, you know, we're attracted with what we see. So we see someone who has an amazing physique, amazing body, and you're like, oh shit, I want the same thing, right? But you're not seeing, you know, all the inner work or the inner turmoil that goes into that, right? So that's why very important to like really like as soon as you start getting into this journey to fall in love with the idea of like, okay, this is really helping me mentally. This is really adding some sort of structure in my life and fall in love with that first and then everything else secondary. Because the other stuff secondary, I'm telling you, you're never going to be satisfied and it's fleeing, meaning that you might be satisfied with it with one day and then the next day, like you're just not going to be happy with your results. However, when it comes to improving your routine and your mental and everything of that nature, I feel like it's something that stays. Like when I don't go to the gym or anything like that, like I could see the shake up it does in my day and how it just makes me feel mentally. Like I don't feel that same high when I'm starting my day, you know? So I always encourage people to like, try to find what does that look like for you and then fall in love with the physical attributes after, you know? Ah. Whew. Ah. Whew. Yo, but overall, I feel like I'm finishing off the week on a good high. Not gonna lie. You know, I feel like the last few times I've been checking in with you guys, I haven't been like, you know, really talking about my mood, and I've probably been doing a poor job of asking how y'all been feeling. It's just that I didn't want to be like very repetitive, and like I said, like my mood's been very stable on a very, I won't say a very good note, but it's been on a good note. So I think it's important to acknowledge that, when your moods are are great, or I think you should just acknowledge your moods regardless if they're high, low, or whatever. And I apologize if I have not asked y'all how y'all been feeling. You know, I shouldn't only ask how you guys are feeling when my moods are low, right? So that's something that um, I was just thinking about that I did a poor job at, and just wanted to acknowledge that. But overall, my mood has been very good this week. Very thankful to have to feel like that. Uh, Especially as we enter closer in winter. Like I feel like wintertime. I don't know if it's a Montreal thing or it's just probably it's a thing that for places that experience like all four seasons. I just feel like Montreal is known for like cold winter blues. People stay inside, and like oftentimes depending on your mental state, that might not be the best thing for a lot of people. So as we enter the colder season, the nights, you wake up and it's still nighttime, like it messes with your mental. So you can see I kind of cheat a bit on that last set, which is okay. If you cheat on the last few reps, it's all good. It's not like you don't have to always have like super strict form. As long as the first couple is good, and if you need to kind of cheat at the three last reps, go ahead. It's all good. So funny, eh? Like I'm still here working out. Ash is done. She did her stretches and everything, and like anytime I see her come in, she gives me that look, like, "Are you done yet?" She comes in like a shark with her eyes. I'm talking about you, right? I'm talking about you. I'm just saying that, like, when I'm working out, like, I'm done, and no, like, you're done, you're finished before me. I'm like, you give me those eyes to be like, "Yo, are you done yet? Or hurry up!" And you just come in like a shark underwater, like just come in, like I can see you.
No, I'm not like in a rush or anything.
No,
I'm
no.
just bored. I have nothing else to do.
Well, I have one set left of this, and then just one exercise. Yeah. Super excited to be in Brooklyn next week. Super excited. That's what's actually on my mind right now, is to finish up preparing for our workshop and our talk. So what's going to be very different from the conference we did in Texas, this one's going to have a workshop component. So we're going to have like basically a workshop of how to build your brand from a design perspective. And incognito. What? I don't know. I like to talk about body dysmorphia because I feel like a lot of people don't even think someone like me could experience that. 100%. I did. I experienced that. And when you start experiencing that, you have to like just tap out right away. You have to start like catch yourself because it could go deep, bro. It could go deep. Like you start getting flooded with all these messages. You're on social. You have things that make you feel like you're not good enough or better enough. and all that shit. And it's like if you don't catch yourself before you fall too deep into that, it could really impact you, you know. And that's why, like me, um, like experiencing levels of that, I could really empathize or sympathize. I think I'm using the wrong term, but with women who actually have that type of who go through that, you know, because you know it's more openly talked about when women go through that, and it's because of like how they're being marketed to and just like women's standards and yada 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 yada. And for men, I feel like it's a new thing that people start talking about. So me going through that, I'm like, oh shit, like I understand like the real like I understand like how deep this shit could get, you know. And I'm old. I'm older. I should say I'm not old. I'm older. I'm mature enough to like catch myself, but I could imagine for someone who has more subliminal messages that are programmed into them in terms of how they need to look, and people who are a lot younger who have not experienced life to a point where they can make like informed decisions. Like, yeah. So that's my thing. Like, really, like as soon as that shit start creeping up to you, like knock, like find your purpose in terms of like that mental high, like find what is the meaning for you to go get physically fit or whatever the case may be. Make sure your reasoning is tied to something mental first, you know. Probably it's going to improve your work, probably it's going to improve your relationship, probably it's going to help you make better decisions. If you're able to put that at the forefront, I'm telling you, like the secondary stuff, like it's all good, you know, but don't make the physical stuff be the main driver, because I'm telling you, you're going to be disappointed. Woo. Good morning, beautiful people. I don't know if I said that at the gym, but you guys just saw me do a nice workout right now. Like a nice pump. I feel rejuvenated. The sun is out. Like,
Wow, the trees are really
they're like,
bright
yeah,
today.
all these different colors. I like when they're like
Probably because
reddish
of
and
the
orange. I like the
yeah.
red, the bright reds and orange.
The sun is really making them pop.
Yeah. So we're on our way home. You didn't put
My
on your
seat
seatbelt, babe.
belts.
Yo, funny enough, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. Before going to bed, me and Ash saw our our talk that we did in Texas, and it's one of those things that I'm like, I wish I did not see it.
It was
Yeah,
so friggin' cringe, bro.
but I think there's levels to it. While we're very super analytical to it, you know, like I'm gonna speak for on my behalf on what I thought, like overall, what I did not like is just that because it's a new topic for me, I didn't really fully. I wouldn't say I didn't fully grasp it, but it's a new topic. It's the first time I explained it, and I'm pretty sure I shared it in a
Like,
previous video.
it's not something that you don't know, but it's like it's the first time we talked about
Yeah,
it. We did a talk about it.
First time we ever talked about it. So in the beginning, when I'm starting off, right, I could hear in my voice that I'm kind of like hesitant on certain things, and it doesn't flow natural, you know. But this is really at the beginning of the talk, so I'm saying like the first like you know the intro, first 3 minutes or so, and then like midway point, I just start feeling myself and I really get into it, you know. So I was very critical on that, and I was just like, I don't really. I was like, ugh, I hear it, and but for you, like I felt like you did extremely well. I didn't, you know, probably you see something that I don't, but I think you really carried it. If I'm being very honest with you, like
You
did,
think?
yeah, you did a very good job.
I feel like I was very nervous at the beginning. There was like technical difficulties at the start because they didn't tell us to keep our computer screen on So like it slept, and then we had to like reset it up, lie on the stage. So awkward. So that kind of threw us off a bit. And then obviously, like when we started, we were both very shaky. And I just felt like we were nervous, and so nervous that we weren't able to really be present and loose and speak about it in like a casual way. But like we still delivered the information and everything. And like you said, like by the time we got like the first parts out, it was better, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like seeing like the shakiness of the beginning was still like, oh my God, we don't come off like the way that I wanted us to, you know?
Yeah, but also like I was saying last night too, we have to give ourselves grace, right? There's so many levels to it. Um, our talk was very, I would say almost technical in a sense, where it's like
Yeah.
we're presenting people something that they can apply right away in their life. It's a framework. So, and there's different steps to that framework. So it's something that like we didn't went on that we didn't speak about like our journey. Our talk wasn't aspirational. It wasn't none of that. It was very focused on like this is a tool that we use during our process, and you need to start applying it to your process, and there's all these steps that you need to cover, right? So there's that element of it, and there's also the element where it's like this is our first time doing this talk, you know, so it's not like this is something that we got to practice several times, you know. This is like our fifth time doing it. This is literally our first time doing this talk. And you know, most people, most speakers, you know, they will have a specific talk, and they will just either repeat that talk or change it depending on the context and whatever the case may be. Ash and I rarely do that, and I think like we should
Yeah, we should
probably
start recycling our
yeah
talks.
recycling our talk, because every talk we usually do is always new, but obviously it depends on the
Yeah, it
audience, you
depends on the
know.
audience, because like, for example, when we did tech barbecue in Copenhagen, it was like, it was entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So the topic wouldn't have been relevant to them, you know?
Yeah,
So,
so like I was saying, like we have to give ourselves grace, and you know, and I look at it like, oh, you know what, like yeah, we could have been like, yeah, it's not the best, I don't think it's the best talk we ever did, but we could definitely improve on it, and I'm very excited to have that opportunity when we're going to go to New York,
Brooklyn.
you know, and take advantage of like, okay, like how can we improve it to make it better or whatnot, you know. So
I wonder what it's going to be like to do it again, because I don't think we've ever done a talk more than once or reused like similar material. Unless it's like a workshop. Workshops, yeah. But workshops are lower stakes. They're not as like, it's more like hands-on and intimate versus like,
yeah, honestly, I think this is just me. I believe in the rule of three. I think after the third time doing a specific talk, that's when you start getting the real hang of it. Like, I think it's too much pressure on ourselves to be like, oh, like the second time we have to get it perfect.
no.
I think to be like, okay, well, we're gonna improve, but like I don't expect myself to be like, oh, we're gonna knock it out the park 100%. Like, nah, like we're gonna notice that there's certain things that we might need to improve on, but like I know we're gonna still do better than we did last time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's good to have these pressure on
Yeah.
ourselves to for that. It's not realistic.
It was so funny when you started playing it, because I was like, turn it off. I don't want to see that. And then like I was listening to it, and it's like, you know, with the expression where they say like looking at a car crash, where it's like you can't look away type thing. It was like that. It was like, oh my God, I don't want to see it. It's so cringe. I hate hearing myself talk. But then I couldn't stop listening to it. And then by the end, I was like, no, keep playing it, because I wanted to just like analyze it and like view it from an outside perspective.
But we look good on stage, though.
Sure.
That's what Bo did there. I'm like, oh, yo, we look good. We look like superstars on stage. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. But
Yeah.
like,
But overall, like the content itself, the delivery could have been a bit tighter in the beginning. Mid to midway through to the end was good, I think. But like the content as well was like really solid too. So
and also
those are
like,
the positives.
and also too like, like I said, when we were doing our talk, like almost everyone in the audience were taking down notes, and people were coming up to us asking about this. So like, yeah, like we could have like, like we're not the biggest fan of our delivery, but like I still feel like it was still valuable information for a lot of people. A lot of people took from it, and like I said, our talk was very technical in a sense. Like it was something that like you're in a classroom and you have to take notes. Like um I believe there's a time and place to do like talks that are aspirational and stuff like that. 100%. I think there is a need for that. But I'm a firm believer, like, if people are gonna pay for something or go to a talk, I do feel like giving them something that they could walk away with
Value.
that's very tangible. I think it's very important, especially in the times like this, for like in the design community that we're in right now. There's so much that's going on. So if we could just give them something that they could like apply right away, and that's what I'm saying. Like we talked this whole thing about facilitation, and it's like I'm pretty sure there's people who are gonna like, yo, I'm gonna search up how to do a brand sprint, what are sprints, and what is
Yeah.
facilitation, and they're gonna find so much resources, and they're like, oh my god, like I did not know that shit existed. So me, I look at it from more that angle more than anything. Like, yeah, the delivery could be better, but I'm pretty sure the value that they got from it is outweighs everything, So
Yeah,
that's
for
how I look
sure.
at it.
Like, I mean, I think that was validated by the feedback we got after, like people coming up to us and they're like, "Oh my God, this was like the talk that I got the most out of."
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, a lot of the other talks are more like aspirational,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. Like, there's like inspiration there, but if they're kind of all doing that, then there's like not enough variety or not enough like meat that you can really hold on to and take away. And like there's only so much inspiration you can get, like
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyways, about to go inside, get ready for this Friday. You know what I'm
Yay,
saying?
it's Friday. Wee.
Yo, babe, who sings that song? You know my heartbeat. Na, 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 na.
I don't
Da,
know.
na, 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 na,
I
na.
don't know who that is.
Yo,
Stop singing it because I hate it.
you know what song that is, Lana?
What?
You know what song that is?
I know the song. I don't know who that is. Is it Kesha or something?
Oh, okay, probably that. Because they were playing that.
I think it is Kesha.
Because they were playing that shit at the gym, and I'm like, yo, that's a bop
You
to
like
it.
that song? Oh my God,
Low-key.
I think I'm tired of it because of like it constantly being played over and like they don't switch up the playlist.
Wait. You make my heart beat swing. Da-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Please.